Thank you for watching, and remember to like this video and subscribe to my channel. Thank you for your support.
Our first name winter storm dates. This one is the latest we've had since we've been naming these winter storms. So we look at, storms being named in early October, mid-October, at least by mid-November. But like the map at the mall, you relate to this right now, right? With all the holiday shopping, we are here. And we are out there in kind of uncharted territory, waiting so long for our first named storm of the season. And if I could get things to go, there we go. Sometimes you just have to like will it and talk to it. Or, call IT. If you're like me, if you call IT, it starts working immediately. Water vapor imagery showing some of that moisture already across sections of Nevada into Utah and Colorado. We've got that trough setting up, and now the snow translating into parts of the Four Corners region, mid sections of the interior west. We've got rain, much needed, much welcome rain. Not going to be a huge amount of rain here into parts of California, but that rain certainly approaching the Los Angeles area. Welcome rain in some of these communities where we, of course, have been following the drought. That's really been the story of the year. Now, today, that storm system will bring the western rain and the snow before it continues its movement off towards the north and to the east. So we're going to be watching these areas tomorrow across the plains with some of our showers getting into the Midwest, sections of the south, even down towards the Gulf Coast. So where we have the cold air in place, that's where the snow sets up. Moisture heading up from the south, and plenty of warm air will also allow for some rumbles of thunder, and by really later tomorrow, more significant threat of some stronger storms. But the snow, it's a big stretch of widespread snow from the Great Lakes back into portions of the west tomorrow all the way into Saturday. So we're looking at a period of 24 to 48 hours for many areas, and those winter weather advisories, winter storm warnings, and winter storm watches expand 1,900 miles. So we've got a lot of real estate between the Great Lakes and then down into portions of California. So that has allowed us to reach our criteria to name this system. And of course, Atticus is the first on the list. So we'll start in the west, Mike, with, again, some very much needed, much appreciated snow for some of those resorts that have been kind of waiting for it.
We have just been hungry for this for a long time, unfortunately.
Winter storm watches are posted, and again, it's those warnings that allowed us to reach that naming criteria, now working into portions of the middle of the country as well. Thursday at 10 o'clock in the morning, you can see we've got the snow across sections of the west. So right now, we've got the snow generally focused into the western U.S., but later today, early Friday, you can see that snow begins to overspread portions of South Dakota, Nebraska, even eastern sections of Wyoming. By the time we get to Friday lunchtime and beyond, through the afternoon, it's snowing in Mason City, Sioux Falls, Minneapolis, and then eventually even into Green Bay. I think just in time for that late day drive, schools to let out. So keep that in mind. Those roads could get slick as we've got that snow falling and a lot of people on them. I think at first, we're going to have the wet roads just because of how many people, but overpasses, bridges, these always are problem spots. Now, Saturday at 6 a.m., it's still snowing in a place like central and northern Wisconsin. Closer to Green Bay and Madison, we may see a little wintry mix set up, so wouldn't be surprised if you actually see a few raindrops mixing in with those snow showers. Snowfall totals 8 to 12 inches. That little stripe from, say, the Sioux Falls area or just east of there up into the UP of Michigan. So those will be the big winners when it comes to the middle part of the country, but plenty of areas in the lavender color, and lavender is about 6 inches. So plenty of spots looking at the possibility of a half foot of snow out of this. 3 to 5 inches, I think, closer for a bet in Sioux City and around south of Mason City. Probably Madison, Wisconsin, you're going to be right around that 1 to 3 inch range. Now, Sioux Falls, South Dakota, best chance of the snow and the most moderate snow, so the highest snowfall rates. Those are going to be coming as we get into Friday afternoon. So lunchtime or really late morning. Or is that just a me thing too? Might be. Winter storm warnings, winter weather advisories through tomorrow across sections of the west. So this includes parts of Utah, western Colorado, up into Wyoming, and now parts of the plains as well. So we're looking at parts of South Dakota and Nebraska as we begin to see that snow overspread these areas overnight and into tomorrow. Snowfall to come. How about some 18 to 24 inch totals there across sections of Colorado? I think across Utah, much of western Colorado and parts of Wyoming. 8 to 12, 12 to 18. 18 inches will be possible. Less of the 12 to 18 inches across Wyoming and Utah. I think Utah looking like plenty of those higher elevations would be in that 5 to 8, 8 to 12 inch range. But when we time this out, you can see the snow has already begun in a place like Salt Lake City. We showed you Park City, very close by. In Reno, it's 35 with snow showers. Fresno, 50 with rain. Bakersfield also getting in on rain. So portions of Southern California getting in on welcomed and needed rain. Not going to be long lasting, not going to be crazy high amounts of rainfall. I think most areas will stay sub 1 inch. But again, we take what we can get at this point. Grand Junction at 36 with some rain showers, actually switching between 36 and 37. Salt Lake City again getting in on the snow. Cheyenne right now in the rain. That will change over to snow here as we move into the later part of today. And then through the overnight, you can see Wyoming, Colorado, Utah still seeing some of the snow. By the early morning hours, we begin to watch parts of the Dakotas and Nebraska get in on some of those more moderate snowfall amounts. By the time we get into Friday afternoon, I think a lot of us shut off across sections of the West. There will still be some lingering flurries, some light flakes falling, but a lot of the attention by that point will be focused into parts of the Midwest. So, Mike, that's where you're going to follow it, because places like Minneapolis, I said a lot of people do weekend trips, to visit family. So a lot of flights on Friday afternoon.
Yeah.
Got to watch those out of MSP.
Minneapolis is an interesting study, too. Because